And about this weekend's opponents, Rob, I mean, Scotland, I think the only team in the tournament to have racked up maximum points so far. We also know that the forward play is the strength of their game, so they're a completely different opponent to Samoa.
Yes, they are. I've liked the look of Scotland, I must say. I like the look of their fly half, Finn Russell. He looks as though he's got some really, really good skills, an exciting young player. Although, having said that, I see that he picked up a little bit of an injury in their last run out. So that's a little bit of a concern to them. Obviously, Scotland, the sort of nation who perhaps don't have the massive amount of depth in lots of positions that South Africa can boast, for instance. So they'll be praying that he comes through to be available for selection. The Scots are useful. I mean, I was just reading it was actually a preview of the tournament, but in one of the British newspapers today, where Sir Clive Woodward was saying that he's got a gut feel that Scotland are going to be capable of knocking over the Springboks in Newcastle, because it's virtually going to be a home game for them. There's thousands of Scots are going to pour
just
across
over the border.
Absolutely. But that said, there's also I've discovered just by being here at the tournament just how many green and gold supporters there are around. I would say almost South Africa are the sort of the dominant nation from a sort of just when you want, just walk around the streets in an English city and look for Rugby World Cup signs. You tend to see green and golds an awful lot. There are thousands of South African expats over here already, as we know. Quite easy for them to follow the Boks around. So I think the stadium will be, as much as there are going to be sort of many thousands of Scots, there are going to be many thousands of South African supporters, either travelling or English or European based anyway. So yes, I mean there is that possibility that Scotland will be a dangerous sort of banana peel for the Boks. But you just sort of think that Samoa game was hopefully a bit of a turning point, and that they now are really ready to get stuck into this tournament and do realize the importance of building on that Samoan performance. If they come even close to matching the sort of intensity and the physical might that they put into the Samoan game, they really should be able to put Scotland away, perhaps even by a fair number of points.
Well, Rob, on that note, that was going to be my final question. I mean, you've been over there for a few days. You've spoken to the South African media, the local media. What is the atmosphere? What has the feeling been like amongst them? I mean, I read an article last night from the New Zealand Herald about how the Boks now are the All Blacks' biggest threat. You wouldn't have said that a week ago. So what's the feeling amongst the journalists over there?
The English newspapers that I've read in the last couple of days post the Samoa game have really been talking up the Boks again, which and rightly so, I think, because it really was an incredibly good performance. I thought the Springboks were just so much more intelligent in this game than they were against Japan, where there was far too much of a sort of a headless chicken scenario going on strategically, and there was panic. The Boks were dead cool and calm and focused against Samoa, and a lot of that came through in the British papers. They felt that the Springbok pack was absolutely ruthless against we know a very uncompromising, harsh sort of Samoan pack of forwards. And the only thing that has been perhaps criticised a little bit is that the Boks scrummaging continues to look a little bit ropey. You would have expected the Boks to do a little better against a fairly average scrummaging unit like Samoa. So perhaps that's one area where the Boks were sort of talked down a bit. But otherwise, the papers here have been gushing about the performances of people like Eben Etzebeth, Farid Priya, the impact he made coming back as the little maestro, calling the shots at scrum half, and people believing that the Boks are a wounded animal after that Japan game, and with a lot to prove now. And the one thing that we did learn against Samoa was that Heine Kamea very much still has the dressing room, I think, because there was an awful lot of passion that went into that game, and hopefully we're going to see the same again this Saturday.
Great, Rob. Thanks very much. We'll touch base again soon.
Thanks, Nick.